Did I tell you guys about the time when my son's dad told the judge that he did not want to pay any child support at all? So, story time. I had moved to Canada on a student visa, right? And my son had his permanent residency. Of course, he got that from his dad. The backstory about that is that his dad had filed for him and then sent him back to Jamaica, just one day out of the blue saying that it's not working out. My son had some argument with his girlfriend. He sent back my son. A few months after that, he wanted me to send him back again to Canada. So I said, no, you cannot do that to a child, because remember, when he sent him back, I had to get him into school again, buy a uniform for him, and uproot him life. He basically uprooted the child. Anyways, and with no explanation, he just literally just shipped my boy back home to me. Anyways, I gladly took my son back. So when I got through to come to Canada, I basically was on a student visa, and I brought my son with me. I reached out to his dad at the time, and I said to him, you know what, I'm gonna be coming to Canada to study, and I'm gonna let my son live with me. He's gonna come and he's gonna be living with me. However, I want you to collect him at the airport for me and let him spend summer with you, and you can let him spend summers and stuff with you. We could have had an arrangement like that where him spend summer with him and Christmas, and and him spend the time with me, the other rest of the year with me. Anyway, he was adamant that no, he's not doing that, and he does not want my son in his house again. Right? That hurt. To know that he would have actually taken a position like that with his own child. You hear me, Anyways, he said he didn't want him in his house again, because if he had access to his house, then I had access to his house. So I said, okay. Anyway, this man is crazy. Disclaimer. He said he's not paying me $1 because he's the one who basically filed for my son. So I'm like, what does that have anything to do with anything? And he's not supporting my journey here in Canada. What does that have to do with anything? Anyways, for about 3 years straight, the first 2.5, almost 3 years living in Canada, I did not get any child support from this man. Granted, even when I was in Jamaica, this man never really supported my son like that. But I was okay, because you know what? I'm in Jamaica and I could have taken care of myself very well in Jamaica. Anyways, fast track now to almost 3 years later. And I was talking to a girlfriend of mine and tell her that I'm not paying any child support. But because I was on a student visa, I felt fearful that, I couldn't actually file for child support, because I thought that mattered at the time. Because he kept on saying, I'm going to call immigration upon me, and this, that, and what, that, and the third. So he was using fear tactics to get me not to file child support. Anyway, if I make a long story short, I ended up filing for child support, because one of my sisters at the time, she said it doesn't matter, the judge don't care about that. File a child support, file for it. File for child support and everything. No, this is a funny part of the story. This man is making over $100,000 a year, at the time. This was pre-COVID or during COVID, like pre-COVID, 2019. This man making over 100 grand a year, You know what the man did? The man filed for hardship. There is this clause under the Child Support Act or whatever where you can file for hardship, for financial hardship. This is a man who make over 100,000. This is a man who is a lecturer at University at Toronto, This is a man who provides support to boys in a community, this is a well-established man in the Jamaican community in Toronto, And when I looked at it, I was like, anything for you not to take care of your own child. This man has 4 children, and this man did not take care of any of the 4 boys that he has. Anyways, you know what I did? When I looked at the paperwork that he completed, he had declared some money that towards child support. So I was like, this man has 4 children, and I know for a fact that he's not taking care of any of them, because I talked to the other moms. So it's 3 of us. Him not take care of none of the boy them. Man, I make over 100 grand, guys. So you know what I did? I got the moms to get a certified letter, a sworn document, right? To say that they are not receiving any child support from them. And I write one long letter to the judge. And when we went to court, because this time court was virtual. The first court was virtual. The man came on and said that he is filing for financial hardship and life is hard and how he has problems with him house and him house underwater, that is his house in Toronto, you know, in big house we buy. And or him can't basically cannot afford to take care of him child. So the judge made it clear. The judge, listen, in that situation, me not have nothing to say that. Me not have nothing to say. Me just anything the judge ask me just say what me I say. Me just answer truthfully, cause me document everything, every text message, every email we ever send me. Me document every one of that shit. Anyways, the judge said to him, "Let me be clear. You will be paying child support. It's just a matter of how much and whether you're going to be paying the back portion of it." Anyhow, we ended up going to court again. Him never showed up in a court because he was supposed to fly to the city that I was living in to pay the child support. Now, the day him never showed up in a court physically, the judge called him on the phone. They had called him on the phone and made a judgment for him to pay an interim amount. We're actually supposed to go back to court for him to pay the back money that he actually owes me. That was what? That was 2021, thereabout. To this date, I have not taken him back to court. My son is now 19, right? And I can't bother with all of that. But I find it so funny that a man, you know, who is earning, you know, a man who's earning. And let me tell you something. I hear a lot of people, because he's going to argue that, oh, you know, my son, he doesn't have access to my son and whatever. He always had access to my son. He could have always sent for him to come and spend holidays with him. He chose not to. I can show you the email with me making the arrangements with him for him to come, for him to send for him, and for us to do co-parenting, like really co-parenting. Fast track to tell oh, this man is a fussy. And some people were just not meant to have children. And sometimes our parents were just not meant to be in our lives. Because I'm convinced that this man was just not meant to be a part of my son's life. So, fast track now to last year. I was coming to Toronto for the Vybz Kartel concert. And I said to my son, well, because he had reached out to my son. Here, what? Me no, come away, me no. He reached out to my son like a little bit before him graduated from high school. And my son was talking to him and whatever. You know, albeit reluctantly, he was talking to him. I said, talk to him, man, because, like, you know, you're a big boy and whatever. You can decide what you want to do. Anyways, son was talking to him and stuff. Him did I try to find out to me if my son was going to go to college. Yes, he's going to go to college. But in the moment, he was trying to fish to see if he's going to go to college. So now, you know, my son said, a long time in the see him. I come go to the Vybz Kartel concert, he will come. I book the ticket expeditiously for me and him because I pay like $200 for each ticket. Book the ticket for me and him go. You know, so when my son messaged the man, I go run out of time. The man don't answer. The man tell him say I come to Toronto for a couple of days. He didn't answer. My son did not go on that trip. That ticket just went to waste. Ladies, be careful. No matter how prestigious a man look, sometimes them are drunk. Anyways, later.